threat to Israel, Iran has vowed revenge for its strike on its consulate.
All the red lights are flashing and you feel powerless.
اشتباه کرد. در این قضیه باید تنبیه بشود و تنبیه خواهد شد.
Iran has started a direct attack on Israel by launching dozens of drones to attack targets there.
After Iran's unprecedented attack on Israel on April 13, 2024, it's clear that Israel has decided to act. We do not know yet what the severity of the conflict will be, as both countries have attacked one another. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, has gone on record to say the state of Israel will do whatever is necessary to defend itself, whereas Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi has said if Israel attacks, we will punish them severely. So, what does this mean for Iran and Israel? Are we going to see a war between the two Middle Eastern countries? Find out the full story by watching till the end of the video. The roots of the Israel-Iran rivalry run deep and encompassing several ideological, religious, and geopolitical differences. Iran's Islamic Republic has positioned itself as a staunch opponent of Israel, often referring to it as the Zionist regime and supporting militant groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. Similarly, Israel's military actions, including covert operations and cyber attacks, have targeted Iranian interests across the region, from Syria to Lebanon, to counter Iran's influence and prevent the spread of advanced weaponry to militant proxies. The tension between the two states recently reached an all-time high when Iran attacked Israel with missiles and drone strikes on April 13, 2024. So, to uncover the potential outcome of this conflict, we have to first ask, what led to this attack? Why did Iran attack Israel? It has been reported that Iran initiated the attack on Israel on April 13, 2024, because of a suspected Israeli strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, earlier in the month. Iran claimed that the Israeli attack on the consulate killed 7 Iranian ambassadors, including a high-level general. As a result, the Muslim state decided to attack the nation of Israel to show that they would not tolerate such actions against their people. However, we believe there are more reasons at play here other than an act of counter-response. But before that, let's look at some of the facts about this attack. It is believed that Iran knew that 99% of their rockets would be intercepted, yet they still chose to attack. Why would they do that? Well, because it is a matter of pride and patriotism to them. Iran has been heavily scrutinized for their conflicts with several nations around the world, such as Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, the US, etc. Iran has also gone on record to say that they were retaliating, sending the message that they did this because they were attacked first. As a matter of fact, this was the first ever direct attack by Iran on Israel. So far, Iran has been engaged in a proxy war with Israel. The Muslim state has been secretly funding the Shia rebels, Hezbollah, Houthi, and Hamas militants to fight on their behalf. This network is called the Axis of Resistance. They have been doing this to fend off Israel and American advances in their neighboring countries, as Iran is known for not having good relations with either of the nations. However, the most important reason why Iran is taking these actions is because they want to be the leaders of the Muslim world. It is also to demonstrate that they will not be as passive as Palestine if their countrymen are under fire. How did Israel respond to the attack? After being forced to defend against a barrage of approximately 350 rockets and projectiles, Israel has decided to respond in kind by attacking with their own fleet of missiles. On April 20, 2024, Israel attacked the city of Isfahan in retaliation to the April 13th attack, targeting key military facilities. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated previously that his country would be the one to decide how to respond to Iran's air assault, and we finally have the answer. Luckily, neither attack led to any severe casualties, as both times most of the projectiles were shot down. Now, the concern is, where will this lead us? Given Iran's promise, a retaliation seems imminent. So, will an all-out war between Iran and Israel remain a non-nuclear contest? That is yet to be determined, as both nations are gearing up for a direct confrontation. To give a different perspective, it also seems like neither Iran or Israel wants to engage each other in a full-scale battle. When Iran attacked Israel on April 13th, they shared intelligence of the assault with Israel's allies to avoid a major catastrophe. Similarly, Israel's counterattack did not have much firepower behind it either, as most of their missiles were intercepted before they could hit Iran's military bases. So, we can deduce that both countries are holding back. Instead, they are putting up a spectacle to show their people, allies, and rivals their firepower without the intention of causing any actual harm. What will an all-out war between Israel and Iran look like? An all-out war between Israel and Iran would likely unfold as a multifaceted conflict, drawing upon the military capabilities and strategies of both nations. Israel, renowned for its well-equipped and highly trained military, would likely leverage its air superiority and technological prowess to strike strategic targets within Iran, including military installations, nuclear facilities, and command centers. Simultaneously, Iran's military, though less advanced technologically, boasts considerable firepower, including ballistic missiles, drones, and a vast network of proxy forces across the region. Also, given the complex web of alliances and rivalries in the Middle East, an Israel-Iran conflict could quickly escalate, drawing in neighboring countries and militant groups aligned with either side. Nations such as Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq, with significant Iranian influence, could become battlegrounds for proxy warfare, with militant groups like Hezbollah serving as Iranian proxies against Israeli targets. Conversely, Israel could mobilize regional allies, including the Gulf states, and possibly even tacit support from Sunni Arab nations to counter Iranian-backed forces. In addition to conventional military strategies, an all-out war between Israel and Iran would likely feature extensive cyber warfare and asymmetrical tactics. Both nations possess sophisticated cyber capabilities, capable of disrupting critical infrastructure, targeting communication networks, and conducting espionage operations. Iran, in particular, has demonstrated a willingness to use cyber attacks as a means of retaliation, as evidenced by past incidents targeting Israeli and Western interests. However, the most prominent consequence would be the toll on the human lives both nations have to pay. Mass displacement, civilian casualties, and widespread destruction of infrastructure would exacerbate already dire humanitarian conditions in the region. Moreover, the potential use of chemical or biological weapons, a concern given Iran's alleged chemical weapons program and Israel's nuclear capabilities, could further escalate the humanitarian crisis and trigger international condemnation. There is also the threat of a nuclear fallout if both nations go to war with one another. Given how much animosity is present between Israel and Iran, it would not be surprising to see the conflict escalating to nuclear warfare. This would not only devastate the countries that would be hit with such weapons of mass destruction, but would also deeply impact neighboring states with unmitigated damage. How will an Israel-Iran war affect the world? A war between Israel and Iran would undoubtedly exacerbate the already heightened tensions in the Middle East. The region, already rife with conflicts and proxy wars, could witness a dangerous escalation as neighboring countries align themselves with either side or find themselves inadvertently drawn into the conflict. This escalation could further destabilize the region, leading to increased violence, displacement of populations, and exacerbating humanitarian crises. One of the most immediate and significant impacts of a conflict between Israel and Iran would be felt in global energy markets. Both nations are key players in the global oil market, with Iran holding substantial reserves and Israel situated in a region crucial for oil transportation. Any disruption to oil production or transportation routes could lead to a spike in oil prices, destabilizing the global economy and potentially triggering a domino effect of economic consequences across various sectors. An all-out war between Israel and Iran would likely prompt countries around the world to take sides or at the very least recalibrate their geopolitical alliances. Traditional allies of both nations, such as the United States supporting Israel and Russia having ties with Iran, could find themselves drawn into the conflict either directly or through diplomatic support. This could strain international relations and lead to a fracturing of global diplomatic efforts, further complicating efforts to resolve the conflict peacefully. However, if such an event occurred, the threat of another world war could be looming large. Could this conflict be avoided? While the prospect of an all-out war between Israel and Iran remains a grim possibility, it is not inevitable. Diplomatic efforts must prioritize dialogue, mediation, and confidence-building measures to prevent the outbreak of conflict and address underlying grievances. The stakes are too high for the region and the world to allow tensions to spiral out of control. Only through sustained diplomatic engagement and a commitment to peaceful resolution can a potential war be averted in the Middle East. If you thought that our take on the Israel-Iran conflict was informative and insightful, hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. Let us know what you think in the comments below and tell us how you think an all-out war could be prevented. See you next time.